I know you're going to look at this assignment and you're going to say, how in the world is something this much fun proof that I am brilliant? Well, sometimes you just have to trust me on this. I've been doing this a long time and I know that you are brilliant because you are going to show an ability to look at an object, at a color, at an image, and you are going to conceptualize that and assess a creative description of that. And that requires brilliance. Let's see how it's done. You're going to click here, and that is going to take you to a discussion board. Super fun. So you are going to create a thread. Let's look at the thread that I've already created, and I gave it a title. Let's take a look at it. When I created that thread, I came up with a text box. I titled it My Brilliant Colors. Remember my name, course information, date, and word count. Word count's going to show up right here. I only wrote a few, but when you finish your entire submission, you'll be able to see that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is place my title here, and I'm going to use my own words to describe what is a noun and then what is an adjective. And now I'm ready to add my 30 colors. To do that, I'm going to go to Mashups, Flickr Photo, and I'm going to use keywords to describe what I want to find. In the search, I'm going to look for dark red. And I'm going to look for one of these colors that appeals to me. I'm simply going to base this on what appeals to me. Isn't that fun? And of course, there are millions of pages, but I'm going to try to pick one pretty quickly. I'm going to go with this one. And instead of their name, I'm going to give this my own creative name. I'm going with, Oh My Bleeding Heart Red. Now I want this to be small, just 100, because I've got 30 of these to do. I don't need that. I don't need that. I click Submit, and it's going to show up on my list. Pretty? Now I simply go down. There's going to be lots of gaps, so I'm going to have to make sure that I get those gaps taken care of. Let's do another one. I'm on number 2, Mashups, Flickr. This time I want to describe the color of an object, so I type in dark coffee. And let's see. I like this one. Select, give it a different name. I'm going with Wake Me Up Brown Coffee, and I'm going to, again, 100, no and no, and submit, and there it is on my list. Let's do one more, and then I'll close out this tutorial. So this will be number 3. Mashups, Flickr Photo. Let's just see what happens here. Something simple. Okay, now I'm just going to pick one that I like. Ooh, I like that one. Okay, I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going with Dark of the Moon Black. Down here, 100, no and no, and submit. And there it is. Now I'm going to do that with 30. Now you see we've got a gap here, and we want to try to take out gaps as much as we possibly can. Even if you don't number, I want them to look pretty, because what I want you to do is come back in 3 days or so and see what everybody else did. When I finished all 30 colors, I want to make sure it looks pretty, that I have everything really awesome. And then I'm going to make sure that I have my word count. When I'm creating that thread, there's a little button next to the submit button that says Save Draft. So I can always save it and come back to it if I don't have time to do everything all at once. And then come back in 3 or 4 days and see what everybody else did. The answer to the question, can I use a picture of my own, is no, and I'll tell you why. Because we want to get these done quickly. And I don't want you to use too much of your time on this one activity Keep in mind that in the bonus assignments folder, there are a couple of opportunities for you to complete bonus activities where you do in fact include your own images. So let's make sure that we just do this with the Flickr thing, get it done, get it turned in, make them clever, and then see what everybody else wrote. No, you don't have to reply to everybody else, but it sure is nice. Don't you like it when you come back in and somebody replied and said, good job, or these are fun, or, something like that? Anyway, complete this exercise, get it turned in, and have a good time. Come back in, check everybody else's, reply, and make lifelong friends. That concludes this tutorial.